All right, so now, folks, we are moving to the portion of the program. Moving to the portion of the program where we're going to have remarks. You guys can continue eating your dinner, wrapping up your meal as you listen, taking these remarks from folks that Saleem has known throughout his work life, his overall life, but predominantly his professional career. So you guys sit back, enjoy, continue to eat, and if you would, please just keep your conversations down so others could take in the information from the folks that are saying such meaningful words about Baba Saleem. First, do we have Donald Isaac Jr. in the house? Is Donald in the bathroom? Is he here? Is he around? That, all right. Give it up for Donald Isaac Jr. Donald Isaac Jr. Donald is representing the East of the River Clergy Police Community Partnership Incorporated.
I don't have to read it but hello everyone, and happy birthday and happy retirement to you, Baba Saleem. I will be very quick because I did not expect to say anything today, but it's good to be put on the spot, especially for you. It's very easy to speak about you. When I think and reflect on, what you mean to me, and I'm sure many others, there's one word that comes to mind, and it's strength. And I just appreciate you for being as strong as you are in all the ways that you are since I've known you. For me, meeting Baba Saleem was, of course, through a recommendation from my dad when I was returning from Morehouse College home for the first time. And my dad, knowing the spirit of music that's in me, and my love for it, and being a little bit concerned always about how I can keep it in my life, put me in touch with you. And it was in that moment that I learned what, in a lot of ways, music is beyond just go-go and the sounds in DC, and how it is able to resonate and touch others in spirit. And I was able to volunteer at the time and work in a summer program in the grant I did with the African American Music Association, which I think speaks and resonates again to the strength in music that you bring not only to DC, but just to the world in general. Another time, so that's where we started the foundation of the relationship, which, music is just a word, but when it resonates in you, to be able to connect with you and to continue to carry on that spirit and legacy now in all the work that we do, it just means a lot to me, and I thank you for your strength and courage to continue to make sure that lives on even to this day. But I say that the biggest time of strength for me was because we've been in touch ever since then, and I'm very grateful for that. But it was during COVID. I think it was during that period of time when I really was able to lean on you as a light in a time in the world where there was a lot of darkness, and you remained steady and strong, and it was the same music, undertone, and spirit that guides our life every day that you held on to, even through every conversation, which was almost every week of the pandemic. And I'll never forget, we were talking every week, and you would say, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And I was just flabbergasted by the way you carried yourself, during that time, and letting your faith resonate in your strength. But I remember when you got COVID, and from the outside looking in, I didn't know what to expect. I was just like so flabbergasted. But even to experience your strength at a time when COVID was such a big thing and everyone was so fearful, and to see your faith at its highest level, it resonated all the way back to the first time I met you. So even to this day, through the music, through who you are as a light to the community, through allowing music, which clearly has been a part and a gift that you've had since that resonates beyond any words that anyone can ever give, and to the strength and faith that you allow to lead and guide you in your actions and in your words and every day. On this birthday and as we celebrate your retirement in a happy way, I just want to say thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Give it up one more time for Donald Jr. That was beautiful, man. Beautiful. All right, we're going to move right along because we are a little bit behind schedule. Our next speaker will be Catherine Thomas. She's a trustee of Union Temple Baptist Church, with the current pastor, of course, being Dr. Anika Wilson Brown, and she'll be speaking on behalf of the church. Welcome, Catherine. Catherine Thomas.
Habaragani! Habaragani! Yes. Depending on when and where we met, you may know me as Catherine Thomas, Sister Kathy, Kathy among my friends, and my African name, Mama Adila, which was so lovingly bestowed on me by Pastor Emeritus Reverend Willie F. Wilson, who couldn't be here today. He and his family are attending their family reunion. But I am so honored. It's such a pleasure to be able to pay tribute to Baba Saleem Hylton. You're going to hear throughout the night, I'm sure, how he took Unifest, which was started by Union Temple Baptist Church, from a one-block, one-day chicken strut, chitlin stroll, that was the original name of the festival, to a world-renowned, multi-day festival with national and international talent being brought in. That was Brother Baba Saleem Hylton. So what most of you don't know about Baba Saleem Hylton is his dedication to ministry at Union Temple. One-on-one, down in the trenches, as they like to say now, boots on the ground, ministry with the Rites of Passage manhood training program that was initiated at Union Temple. That's right. Baba Saleem and other Babas had to study themselves so they could be equipped to help reach the young boys who needed mentors and bring them to where they needed to be in this real world. And toward that end, Baba Saleem just reminded me that he was, because of his proficiency in entrepreneurship, that was one of the specialties that he brought to the manhood training program. And they even took the young boys on pilgrimages, we won't say trips, pilgrimages to the motherland, and worked with them closely, one-on-one. And if you want to know if there was any impact as a result, because this was an African-based, spiritually based, African-centered program, the two are not mutually exclusive. Was there an impact? Well, just ask some of the parents, some of whom were single mothers, some of whom we had single fathers. One brother had a set of twins he was raising after his wife made her transition. You ask those parents, was there an impact? And you will get a resounding yes, there was an impact that even follows them to this day. So on behalf of the Union Temple Baptist Church, which is still in Anacostia, D.C., thank you very much. We say thank you, Baba Saleem, for all that you've done, and may God continue to bless you.
All right, one more time for Catherine Thomas from Union Temple Baptist Church. I know we're moving on quickly, but I have to insert my stories here because there's no dedicated time for me to speak. I'm going to just speak a little bit about Union Temple, the Unifest as well, and my dad's impact and influence and inspiration. Or let me just say direct impact that overflows directly to his children, right? So we all want to see the best for our children, right? I started working at Unifest. I guess he saw the love that I had for entertainment as well. So he had me, my sisters both, but me, specifically being the mini him, right? Working as a program coordinator, stage manager for the urban stage. And during that time, it was the beginning of my career, my entertainment career, and I am bringing on artists in the likes of Destiny Child, Beyonce, walking up, shaking her hand, shaking her mom's hand, and telling them when they need to get on. Bob Marley's son, Damian Marley. This is me at 19, 20 years old, and the list goes on. But I just wanted to drop those two heavy names in reference to, the African American experience or the diaspora experience, and heavy hitters like that I was able to meet and work with due to my father's influence and position at the time. And he did it with, he didn't meet him, he didn't get a chance to meet him. He's somewhere running all over Southeast, making sure the Unifest is straight. And that's kind of what I meant about not taking pictures, not capturing the moment. The results are all over this room. You're not really going to see them on a photograph. So let's move on.
Let's hear from Mark.
Thank you. He called me his one and only, so he poured it. Thank you, Father. All right, we're going to have Ted Carpenter. Ted, are you ready? Done eating there? Ted Carpenter worked with my dad in the group, The Father's Children. I'm sure he's going to tell you all about it, but The Father's Children was a highly touted, respected group that was, coming along back in the 70s and 80s, and I was right there too, running around, beating on a congo, at the time. Give it up for Ted Carpenter, you guys. He has a lovely voice.
Thank you. When I spoke to Baba Saleem about a month ago, and he was telling me about this celebration, I was honored to be given the opportunity to speak on behalf of Father's Children. So I want to talk a little bit about the relationship, which actually goes back about 50 plus years, 50, early 70s, I think around 71, 72, somewhere like that. But anyway, we were a group of guys just hanging out, singing on the street corners, and
They're the best harmony.
yep, in Western High School, exactly. And we sort of just wandered into this warehouse that was being made into a people center, a cultural center. And so, Saleem said, "What you cats doing? I mean, what y'all, are you trying to be something?" We thought we weren't somebody, but, at that time we were transitioning from a doo-wop, and I don't mean doo-wop like it's in the 50s, but I mean like Temptations, that kind of thing. And around that time was when the so-called self-contained acts were beginning to sprout up. We weren't initially receptive to the idea, but Baba Saleem said, "Look, man, you can. This brother, he can play keyboard, and we can grab some guys, and other guys coming in the community center, and let's see what we got." And he actually sort of convinced us to move from the doo-wop style, Temptation style, to more like a Earth, Wind, and Fire, War, all of the acts which were played and sang. So, and he was very instrumental in developing the concept of the group too, because actually he had a team of people working with him. People like Larry Bell, we used to call him Anxiety, John Barber. And so these guys began to put something together conceptually that when we were introduced, we were called the Crisscross Rhythms of Righteousness. So that was Saleem and his crew's sort of like influence on the group. But they taught us something back then aside from music, and that was the importance of spirituality and the importance of brotherhood. And that concept of brotherhood is something that we continue to try to project, the rest of our lives actually. And even though we're here honoring Saleem in terms of his contribution to the music scene, I'm really here because of that same principle that was instilled a long time ago, and that's because he's my brother. So I want to thank you for everything that you did for the group and that you continue to do. I don't know why you had retirement in there, but happy birthday. I can't imagine if you're going to be retiring. So, God bless you, man, and, love you.
I just want to say this while Hakeem is up here. I named him Hakeem because out of all the groups, he was the wise one, and that's what Hakeem means, the wise one, the one with wisdom. And you can see by his intellect, and what has you, why he was a spoken person, because he was Hakeem. I just wanted to
Thank you, all wise one. Thank you. Now, if that's not impact and inspiration and influence, what is, right? The brother didn't play an instrument. He just hooked up with these brothers that played instruments and sang, and they went on to do great things, right? Sometimes you just gotta, it's a rough, but there's a diamond there, and you've seen them out of fun, right? Got that talent to find the diamonds in the rough. I'm gonna switch this cover for the next group. We're gonna stay on entertainment, and I do believe we have a very, very special person who's also on the committee here. Ignatius Mason, are you in earshot of this? Y'all give it up for Ignatius Mason, the vocalist, the drummer, the producer. Man, you name it. Just look at him. I mean, doesn't he look like an entertainer? He's got a wonderful spirit too. Like that smile is from here. It's from the heart. You'll hear it.
Gracious, and I've been walking DC area, this entertainment since the beginning on that big place. It's a long time. Anytime I did anything, Mama gave me anything.
Yeah, Ignatius has been right there. And Ignatius, you have 2 minutes and 2 seconds.
And he's serious too. That's my nephew, Mahmoud. Give him a round of applause. So, I'm not even gonna tell a story. There's too many stories to tell. Everybody, the last 3 just told stories. Y'all know these stories. So what I'm gonna do is read a list. And all y'all know, y'all been involved in this list somewhere with my brother here about this entertainment. Let me start from the top. The Trojans. Raise your hand, clap your hands if you know what that means. The Trojans won first place at Howard Theater. The Father's Children, you just heard that. The BMA, which means Black Music Association. Saleem was the president of the local chapter. That's where I met him for the second time. We go back to 1974. When I was with Distance in Yango, took us over to your house and Distance did a gig with the Father's Children as he was a promoter. Jazz for Seniors. Saleem, in the later years, and some of us are up here, would go out and entertain the seniors and sing his jazz songs, y'all. Give a round of applause for the seniors. And the seniors love him.
Most of the time, they have no money to pay.
I didn't know that part.
But the band got paid.
I didn't know that part. festivals, Saleem and I were involved in these communities, our communities, make things happen, y'all. Just like y'all know what I'm saying later on, Unifest, you heard it. The Ibex Jazz Lounge. Brother Larry Sharp, right? Yeah, y'all know these stories. I don't need to tell the story. Unifest for what, 25, 30 years? No, sir, I did 25 and you were there before me. I know the count. I did 25. Commitment and everything's all right. You from Alworthy, United Performing Artists of the Metropolitan Area. Woody just asked me about the videotapes if I had. The Save the Children Festival. If y'all don't know what that is, that's Marvin Gaye Day. Okay? SOS, Soul of the City CD. The AAMA in the summertime paid young kids in the area to come and be taught how to put a CD together for that summer. One of the names of the group, I don't know how many it was that did that, but I had it on my wall that I mastered. SOS, Soul of the City CD. Next one, AAMA, African American Music Association. President, co-founder. So to tell y'all a short story, Black Music Association back in 1982, 81, 82. We were in D.C. Saleem was voted president. Him and Zeke Zonders ran, and Saleem was president of Black Music Association.
Nick Mann was our vice president.
Nick Mann, absolutely. Oh, Nick here, what up, Nick? Yes, sir. So, the Black Music Association was a association, national association of all the black artists in America. Stevie Wonder, everybody, producers, record labels, and when it folded, we would do a Marvin Gaye. Matter of fact, I did the very first. I was blessed to do the very first Marvin Gaye Day tribute in the country. 2 months later, 3 months after he was killed by his father. So we did it here. Frankie, his brother, came to sing with us the second year. At Diabetes. Once again. Saleem Hylton. I can tell story after story after story after story. We don't have enough time. But entertainment, Mr. Entertainment himself, y'all hear it all. Our hands was on all this stuff across the city and all over these groups. We probably booked every, I know Vernon here, he would tell you, probably every group in the city was booked at Unifest. Every group, as he just told you, Destiny's Child. You know, we get national acts top to bottom. So I'm not going to take up all the rest of the time. We already behind the schedule. My brother, love you. It's been a great journey. Great to be by his side, or we grew over here. I'm still with your call when you need something. Bless y'all. Thanks for coming out.
Y'all give it up for Ignatius Mason. Give it up for him. Give it up for him. Check. All right, I think we're gonna have a special speaker who just was dying to say what he needed to say about Baba Saleem. From what I understand, they may go back further than almost anyone in the room. So give it up for Sangora, Dr. Sangora. Well, this is a pillar of the community, you guys. He's coming for you, Baba.
Yeah, greetings everybody. First, I gotta set the tone, and I know Saleem understands. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. Yes. But this brother's physical experience has been tremendous. I want to go back to high school days. Enter to learn, depart to serve. Enter to learn, depart to serve. That was the motto. Vocab, come on up here, Vocab. Come on, you guys come on. The vocabs are here. And let me just tell y'all how important it is. Yeah, come on, vocabs. Come on, vocabs. see, y'all see, Bell, and I know it's a short time, and I'm not going to be long, but I want y'all to know, out of all the high schools in the District of Columbia, we had the least amount of seniors. Houston had about 600, I think we had about 9 at Bell. Y'all got my drift?
Yes, sir.
Well, but anyway, you're looking at Bocats here. I am a proud, born and raised Banneker City African. This brother here came before me. Brother who trained me in the Garvey movement was in his class, Brother Jackson Bay. And I just want to tell y'all that sometimes when you find your cosmic assignment, you keep moving. Saleem has been super consistent from the day I met him, always reminding us of the power of the Most High. Not just through word, but through his work. Y'all see these vocabs? Y'all know the slogan, right? Let's say it together. Enter to learn, depart to serve. And that is what this brother has done. So Saleem, that's why you got to get up. I just want to say to y'all that some of the baddest professional football players and referees were our teachers at Bell. And they would kick our behind if we didn't do the right thing. But many of us, the few of us that came out of Bell, you're looking at some of the cream of the crop right here. But it's because it's not about me, he or she. It's about we collectivity. You can't do it alone. 1 come from 2, 2 come from 4, 4 come from 8, 8 come from 16. Saleem knows that and he lives that. So we want to thank you, Saleem, for your consistency, and you cannot retire.
No, I'm not.
You're retiring from one thing to go to the next thing. I got you. So I just want, but we're going to say happy Earth Day to you, and may God forever give you the guidance that he's been continuing to give you, and keep on keeping on, because I know you have affected so many other brothers and sisters' lives with your service. We love you, black man. Your blacktricity shines through all of us. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
Y'all give it up for saying going bang. Y'all give it up for saying going bang. Did I not tell you that? Did I not say that if nothing else, you would get some soul tonight? And that's what you'll get, soul. This brother connects with people's souls. You can see it. You can see it. I love my brother. All right, guys. Let's move on. Io Bryant is going to come up and speak about the Unifest and Union Temple Baptist Church alongside with Vernon Hawkins' wife. I think Vernon is a daughter, sorry. Vernon Hawkins' daughter in his absence. Thank you very much. Io and Laverne. Give it up for them.
Thank you very much. The air in here is just so rarefied. The spirit is in this room. Glory, glory to God. I'm going to have Laverne speak for her dad. So much of what I've shared with Saleem began with Vernon Hawkins. Absolutely. And then we'll go with Tyrone. That's more Vernon Hawkins. Vernon Hawkins, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So let's go with Laverne first.
Well, I just want to stand here on behalf of my dad. He is so disappointed that he couldn't be here with his brother. You know, he talked about how you all have been on a 50-plus year spiritual journey that started at Union Temple, and he appreciates so much what the spiritual kind of melting pot and the growth that went on in Union Temple and what that meant in terms of community involvement. But he is so excited and proud of the loving husband, devoted father, community leader, just an all-around citizen and brother, and he is so disappointed that he couldn't be here, but he really loves you. And talked about how much the work that has been done over the years, and starting with Unifest and what Kathy talked about earlier, in terms of what what that really means to the community and what went on in that red building starting on with Union Temple. So you all have talked about the artists who have been there, the jazz artists, the R&B artists, the gospel artists, the urban stage artists, from Chuck Brown to Najee. We've already talked about Destiny's Child, Commitment, etc., and Mary Mary. But he is just delighted to be able to celebrate with you and looking forward to what's going to be happening to you in the next stage. I like that.
Take it off, Doc.
To God be the glory for such a moment as this. They say two great days in our life. The first is the day that we are born. The second is the day that we realize why we were born. And as I hear the spirit of Saleem, in the spirit of these two great oceans that I'm in the midst of, Vernon Hawkins, one of the most extraordinary men that I've ever met in my life. Saleem Hylton. When I first met Saleem some 55 years ago, we had a program that was coming up from Lorton Reformatory. Saleem was doing community work then, helping to support us, building us, and strengthening us. And we are a product of what this brother has done over the years. So, brother, we commend you, salute you, and is thankful to you because you've been consistent over the many years of inspiring and encouraging and building individuals. And I stand as a small pillar of the example of the great work that you have done over the years. So to you, Baba Saleem Hylton, you made a major difference.
Amen.
Amen. To God be the glory.
Saleem asked me to speak about Unifest because we worked together on Unifest for many, many years. I was a coordinator. Vernon Hawkins, who Tyrone just mentioned, and Laverne is his daughter, was and is and will always be the general. Working with Saleem at Unifest and Ignatius and all of the others, Kathy, Sylvia, the vending group, we did something that no one imagined at that time. If you remember when it started, you know, there was this cloud over the city because of all of everything around drug activity, other kinds of things going on. East of the river had been labeled and abandoned as, you know, ooh, we don't cross the bridge or whatever. We did Unifest, and what they put together under Vernon Hawkins' leadership, what we did together brought people across that bridge from as far as New York, across the world, to the point that one of those years, people were parking on the expressway, on the highway. So the police came to us and said, can you get these people to stop parking out here, you know? So it gave Anacostia at the time light again, because that is a historic community. Families living there for generations with pride. They painted this picture, we lifted that so that the world could see, but more importantly, the people who lived there could know. The children could be proud. They could come out. We have one young lady who's now gathering oral history about Unifest, who talked about how her family every year planned their family reunion around Unifest. And she was a child, so all the little girls and boys would have special outfits that their parents got for them. They'd get their hair done. They'd meet at one family member's home and leave from there to come to the festival. Now she's an archivist. Unifest had so much impact, not only the entertainment of it, the joy of it, but for us to begin to learn about us, the stories being told by us that had been hidden from us while they dumped other stuff upon us. So I want to share that, and then a second thing, which I may be the only one to talk about this. Barry, 94. Saleem, you remember that? Okay, in 1994, Marion Barry ran again for mayor. Saleem, Vernon called on Saleem. I was the campaign manager. Vernon called on Saleem to take over and direct transportation. If you know anything about campaigns, you know you've got to get your voters to the polls. You've got to get your voters to events. Saleem, Vernon, along with me and others, ran that campaign this way. Our competition at the time, the other candidates were doing all kinds of things to try to get media attention. One was the incumbent mayor, so the other candidate had somebody dressed like a lame duck in front of their campaign. So all those little things, we didn't do that. We ran this low and steady for the brothers like a Hemi on the highway at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. No noise. Saleem had the transportation laid out, the plans together. When it came time to get our folks to the polls, they were there, and you know the story. We came out quietly, black lightning, y'all. The article in the banner of the Washington Post the next day said, Barry knocks the town for a loop. Okay? Because they had no idea. Saleem, you remember that? Yeah, we did that. So this rounds out, though it's hard to do because Saleem is a 360 all the way around degree person. You can see that if you take the time to read his bio in there. He's a Renaissance man. But I'm telling you, 1994 with Saleem, Vernon Hawkins, and others in this room who volunteered, we lit it up and put Marion Barry back in the mayor's in that chair. So it's my privilege, my honor, and also one last thing I just have to tell you. Saleem, I was a single mom at the time. This is personal. And my sons were coming of age where they started to grow beards, you know, not really, little stubborn stuff. But I thought, well, I called Saleem, and I said, Saleem, you know, my oldest son, blah, 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 and I don't do this. So Saleem said, I got you. So he came and he got my son and took him, you know, got what was needed, told him how to do it, showed him how to do it. That's the man he is. That is so meaningful to have someone throughout their life who is constantly giving life. That's right. Constantly. So I thank you for that, Saleem, and I agree with Tyrone and everybody else who said there ain't no retirement. Life goes on and you will go on too. Enjoy and live.
All right, now that was a blessing. Had me choked up over there. Give it up for that. Those three of them. Wonderful people. Wonderful stories. Again, that's impact, influence, and inspiration that you just don't take a picture of, right, Io? You didn't take a picture of him talking to your son about listening to his mom, did you? That wasn't a glory moment, right? Something we thought we'd show at his retirement party 30 years later, right? That hard work is to be celebrated today. That's what this is about. You're not gonna see those fancy pictures of that grunt work, right? We don't get to see Jaden Daniels in practice much, but we get to see him throw those touchdowns on Sunday. All right, we're gonna move right along here. Next, we will have, how do I say this? This is I'm just joking. That's my sister, Hassani Hylton. Hassani Hylton, where are you? It's your time to speak. This is Saleem's daughter, and she has spent a great deal of time working with Saleem in his restorative justice work. She may be doing some work for him right now. She's not making her way up here. Okay, here she goes. Give it up for Hassani Hylton, Saleem's baby girl, and she works does a lot of work for restorative justice and has done a lot of work for restorative justice with my dad. Look at her.
Hi everyone. I'm going to try not to be emotional. I actually started to write something. My better half. This is Sean, everyone. Like my dad calls Mahmoud his one and only. This is my one and only boy as well. Sean, you want to say hi? Hi. I was actually going to write something, and then I decided to speak from my heart, which is something that we say a lot in our restorative justice work. I was supposed to follow Dale, who I call him Unc, one of the gurus, fellow gurus in restorative justice. But Dale couldn't be here. He sent the message for you. I have it for you. It's recorded and it's wonderful. Dale was going to talk about sort of like the professional journey of my dad in restorative justice. And I didn't have to do that because he was going to do it. So I'll touch on it a little bit. My dad started his journey in restorative justice 25 years ago. Wow. And I have to say that it was something that I know that, of course, we know that along our journeys we're drawn to what our purpose is. It was the absolute perfect fit for who he is. He was already working in alternative services for young people, doing diversion work before people even started talking about diversion work. He was tired of seeing our young people in juvenile detention facilities, and he wanted to do something to divert them away from those carceral spaces. I want to fast forward just because of time and just speak from my heart on restorative justice and how it connects to him as my dad. He wants me to talk about my career in restorative justice. I'll touch on it, but I have to talk about the restorative nature of Saleem Hylton. Restorative justice is really all about finding an alternative way to address harm that focuses on the origin of those harmful behaviors. Okay, I know a lot of people might not be familiar with it, so just giving that little tidbit that can help you connect the dots. One of my mottos in the work, I've been working in the field now for over 20 years. So I started when I was 5. But I started working in the field, it was 20 years back in November. And it was all because of my dad. He had become a trainer in restorative justice 25 years ago. And it was him giving me a call and saying, I know you don't like leaving your baby girl. I only had one at the time. Y'all see my little people running all around. I only had one at the time. She was only 5 then. And he said, there's an opportunity for you to go and be trained in something called restorative justice. You'll be gone for 2 weeks. I passed out. I came back to life. It was really hard leaving her. If anybody knows the kind of mom I am, I don't like leaving my children. They don't like leaving me either, in case you haven't noticed. But I went. It was a 90-hour intensive training that was one of the most transformative experiences of my life. It did not only just launch my career into something that I knew was meant for me, but it really highlighted who my dad was at that time and what him as a father and being a restorative person did for me. One of the things that I say in my work is there's a story behind the behavior. I've been saying this ever since I used to teach at an alternative high school back when I was 24. I was actually teaching there when we went and when I got trained. He was one of my trainers. Can you imagine? That was amazing. Like most people would be like 2 weeks. Not only was he one of my trainers, we stayed in a suite together. Country Inn suites, yes. Yeah, they paid you sponsorship. It was a nice place. But we stayed in the same suite for 2 weeks. And that bonding, it was so beautiful. It was so effortless. It was absolutely beautiful. But not only did we grow closer, it just reminded me of, as I got into the work more and more, there's two sides of restorative justice and how you can do the work. There's the proactive side where you instill and you work with people to prevent them from going in one direction, right? Then there's the other side, the responsive side. When the behavior is harmful or an incident occurs, you do something to respond to it. And I thought about how my dad did with me on both sides of that for so long. He used to always tell me, gosh, you would have won. He used to always say, there's always at least one child that gives you the most grief, trouble. How many times you had to come up to my school? Countless, I don't know. Maybe a police station at some point, but we don't have to talk about that. Just kidding. No, just kidding. Okay. We were just like looking for a contrast. But yes, the point of it was my dad always told me, you're not, he called me a knucklehead, right? But I was always his advanced child that, he didn't want me to be skipped 2 grades, but I was skipped 2 grades, so I was always like the youngest in the crowd and all. He was really worried about that. And so my behavior was, for one, out of control a lot of times, over a long time. And my dad was constantly letting me know the impact of trauma. You were not like this just because you just woke up and said, I want to cut up. He reminded me of things that I didn't know was traumatic. It was nothing that he did or that my parents were wonderful. It was just life happens, right? And so through those traumatic experiences, I always had him to process with me. And I have to say, because of what you did proactively and responsively, you have basically shaped how my mind looks at young people and older people, because I now work with incarcerated adults. But you helped me to give grace, to give compassion, to have empathy, to be able to teach accountability, but do it in a way where you show deep understanding and you encourage people to want to be better. And I have to say that I don't regret any of the trouble I got into, because mommy doesn't know about a lot of it, so she's probably going to pull me aside and say, what are you even talking about? We kept it away from her, just because, some of it, I know, some of it. But I have to say that because of you, Daddy, I am the restorative practitioner I am, the trainer that I am, the business owner, all the things that I don't really think about a lot. Honestly, I'm just being. But it's because of your journey and how you did it so effortlessly, and you did it with true, genuine passion for the other person. And that's why, honestly, I work with the people who are on the other side, not the victims, but the people who did the act, because I feel like they need the most compassion. And I appreciate you. We'll do your tribute. Want to say happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Y'all give it up for my lovely sister, Saleem Hylton. Again, back to impact, inspiration, and influence, right? And it not being pretty, just being an example. You don't know what you're teaching. You don't know who's watching. That's why you gotta walk the right way, right? Because you could have a daughter up here saying, hey, I was watching you not walk the right way, that's why I'm this way, right? So the example that Saleem has set in the home is no different than what you guys have seen in his work out in the public. He's just that guy. He's, not everyone is like you. Not everybody wants to save the world. You do know that. All right, so having said that, it's contagious though, right? Even if you're not that way and you're hanging with the guy, you're gonna end up saving the world. You'd be like, oh, I was hanging with Saleem and I saved the world. I gotta go to work and run the stock market tomorrow, but I saved the world with Saleem yesterday. But that's what's special about variety also, right? Not everyone is like him, but it can rub off on you. And the way I am, in a positive way, should rub off on others as well. We're gonna move on. Next we have Mr. Clint Lacey. He's going to be speaking on Saleem's career in restorative justice. Also, give it up for Clint Lacey.
You didn't get the memo.
I know, I called my wife in the parking lot like, but I decided to come in, and I'm so happy that I did. I'm really grateful to be invited to participate in this special occasion. I'm honored to be in the space with all of you, some of whom I know and have the privilege of having relationships, but all of whom I'm grateful to be in this space because we're on one accord, I'm sure in many ways, but in one particular way that comes to mind, and that's to celebrate our brother, Saleem, Baba Saleem Hylton. And I just want to share the tremendous impact and influence that you've had on me, on my family, my children, my wife, personally, emotionally, spiritually, as a brother, as an uncle, as a friend, but also professionally, in the work that unites us to reach and teach, to heal, to restore Hassani, and to empower our young people, particularly those most vulnerable, those who have been turned away, those who've been thrown away in many instances because of the behavior that Hassani spoke to. And the work that Saleem inspired and helped me to work on was to see them not as their behavior or their worst thing that they'd ever done or the worst thing that ever happened to them, but to see the story behind them, but ultimately to see their souls and their spirit and to treat them accordingly. So I came to DC in 2015 to become the director of the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services, DYRS, the court-involved young people, young folks who were in many instances causing all kind of hell in school, on the streets, in the home, on the block, et cetera, et cetera. The ones who in our own community, we've gotten to the point where throw our hands up, what can we do with our young people? And then on the other side, the ones who the system and other forces have said, let's lock them up, let's throw them away, let's charge them as adults, let's punish them. And so when we came in town to take over DYRS, we came with a mission to see them as our own children. And we started using the L word at DYRS, which stands for love. But I soon met Saleem. And what I had been saying all along, like, listen, I'm not the first one to talk about loving our young people. Maybe we don't hear it too often when we talk about the justice system. But I met Saleem, and he had been talking about that for years. And I know many of you in the room as well have been talking about we have to love our young people, and we have to embrace them, and we have to surround them, and we have to nurture them. And that's the solution, not locking them up, not throwing them away, not punishing them. And the influence that you've had on me personally, and that you had on us at DYRS was tremendous. We put together retreats where we helped train my cabinet, and then ultimately the entire staff at DYRS, over 500 people, was trained under the leadership of Saleem in restorative justice, right? To restore them, to reconnect them, to heal them in their own families, in their community, and ultimately in this world, because we believe in them and we believe in their future. And I'm so grateful to Saleem and the family for sharing him and for you sharing your family to support me personally on that journey, but to support much more than me as a director of an agency, to support the movement, the work that so many of us in this room have dedicated our lives to, building the village that it takes to raise our children. So we're so grateful for you for that. After leaving DYRS after 6 years, I started an organization where we continue to grow the work of training and supporting people. We call them credible messengers, people who have themselves experienced incarceration or substance abuse or other of the ills of the streets, but who have been restored, been healed, and now are giving back and embracing our young people who are most vulnerable. And so we're spreading that work all over the country. And the reason why I say that, not just because Saleem helped inspire and nurture and guide me in the work and guide us in this work, but we have several connections and programs around the country. And the thing about it is, on many, many occasions, I've met people who know you, who were trained by you, and your family. And so they say it's a small world. And in some ways, I guess, it's true, but it's not geographically small, right? But what makes it small is the people who connect us, the people who influence us, the people who shine a light that spreads across the miles and the seas and the states that bring us together. And Saleem, you are that light, and we thank you and we honor you.
Y'all give it up for Clint. Give it up for Clint. A little more energy for Clint. Yes, sir. Are we going to cut this to 1 minute? 1 minute. We're behind. The dance floor is waiting. Look at it. It's just sitting and waiting. So, folks, next we'll have Nick Mann coming up speaking on behalf of the former Black Music Association. Give it up for Nick Mann, everybody. 1 minute and 1 second, Nick. All right, you got 61 seconds.
Thank you, thank you. This has been amazing hearing Saleem about the parts of you. You know, I knew one part of you, the music side. And we connected sometime in the mid to late 70s, early 80s, yeah. Because how many of y'all know what was at Georgia Avenue and Military Road, the South? Right, that's where we met. And we started the BMA. You were the first president, I was vice president, I was second president. And we did a lot of good things. And we felt like the music community at that point was very fractured. And we wanted a place for people in the music industry to come together and get connected to each other. And that's what we did. And we also wanted them to be recognized, and that's how when we started the award, which I don't know if they're still doing it, but they did it for a long time, that award that we started back there in the early 80s. So, but what's interesting to me is this restorative justice part. So you had two parts. I had two parts. You know, I had the music part, but I also had sort of OD leadership training part. I was on the faculty at the Federal Executive Institute in Charlottesville for many years. You know, and so you did a lot of development on one side. I was doing development on a very, very different plane, you know. Yeah. You've always been a smart
Way to go, Nick. I didn't catch that punchline, but it sounded like it was funny.
I don't know if I can take much more of this one.
Much more flattery, huh?
Oh my God.
I know, right? I'm not used to this. I told you it's not pretty work. We don't come home and give him parties for going to saving the world. We just don't. This is it, guys. Give it up for Saleem. Y'all have seen the movie Friday. Oh, that's Debo. He just does that. You know, he bullies everybody. That's just Debo. Well, that's Saleem. He just saves the world. You know, we don't throw parties for that. All right. Next, we're going to have Ivory Newton speaking on behalf of the Bell Vocational Alumni Group. You got 61 seconds, Ivory. Give it up for Ivory Newton.
Good evening, everybody. First, give an honor to God and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Isn't it wonderful that we're here tonight? And we saw that we all got here safe and sound. And to celebrate this brother here is awesome. I went to Bell, and when Saleem came there, he was a freshman and I was a sophomore. Around 1962, that's 63 years ago. I've been knowing him a long time. And I was a captain of ROTC, and I was captain of Company C, which is the honor company. And if you got in Company C, that meant that you were good. Because all the people that got in Company C were good. That's uniform, close order drill, rifle, all of that. I also was the captain of the trick drill team, and he was on the trick drill team. So that meant he had to be good in order to get on there. And that's been 63 years ago. There's only one person here I've been knowing longer, sitting right there. And he was just an awesome guy back in those days. And the first year, his freshman year, we came in 4th place. And our military instructor, Major Brown, said next year, we will place. And that following year, we came in 3rd in the citywide competition. The first time any vocational school ever placed in company-wide competition. But not only on the drill part, we won everything over there that year. Saleem was part of that. So we just didn't start, doing what he's doing at a later age. He started back way back when he was a teenager. And we went in the military, and I didn't see or talk to him for a long, long time. And then we got out, when we got out, we started doing the things that he does that everybody was talking about. And we got together with some more Vocats and some more Burdikites. We started the Bell Burdick Alumni Association. And he and I have been involved with each other since then. And I always call him Brother Saleem, he called me Captain Miller. And as long as I know him, that's what we're going to be. And whenever we do, we don't talk every day, but I always tell him, if you don't hear from me, we ain't got to worry about it. My love for you is always in my heart. Not just him, all the people that you see sitting here now, the Vocats, Sharon sitting over there, she's a Burgite, and you don't have to love somebody and just keep saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. To me, those are just 3 words that are used around the world. You show somebody how you love them. He has shown many, many people how he loved them. And I'm just so happy and so pleased to be here tonight to celebrate this occasion with him. So, Saleem, my man.
We call him nose in school.
Y'all give it up for Ivory Newton. This is our final speaker, you guys. We are well beyond time. We're going to have to make some modifications, I'm sure, to the entertainment, which means I'll be sacrificing my wonderful DJ skills. You probably only get 3 songs from me, but a great tribute from the band. No, just kidding. I'm going to turn this dance out right after the band is over. Saleem still has to speak. So we are definitely anticipating you guys waiting around to hear him speak. The final speaker prior to the entertainment is Sean D. Hylton. Now, when I say give up a round of applause, half of you have probably talked to her in the last 2 months, just because she's been so involved in this event. But the other half of you bought tickets from her or got emails or something that Sean D. was involved with. She has been the anchor of this event. One of the, if not the anchor. Give it up for Sean D.
Thank you so much for being here. You're showing so much love and so much love in this room. This father of mine, I'm the oldest child, so I've been rolling with this man for the amount of years that I will not state, right? Okay, I'm 54, so we've been hanging out since 1971, right? So I'm his junior child. That's his son, but I'm his junior child. And so my sister, she's in the restorative justice, my brother does the entertainment, and I'm part of the African American Music Association. Ever since it's been formed. I was there for the first Marvin Gaye Day sitting in the corner because I wasn't old enough to be in the house. I've planned many Save the Children festivals. I've been part of Unifest. I've been part of the planning of that with the entertainment. He's always pulled us in, right? Always made sure we were in the right places and always told us to show up, because that's half of whatever you want to do is just showing up. So thank you all for showing up. Thank you all for participating in our activities over the years. Beverly Lindsay Johnson, who puts on some beautiful events for our organization to help keep the legacy of African American music alive, okay? That's the goal of the AAMA, to support Black artists, to keep the legacy of the music alive, the people who love the music, so you can come out and enjoy it, right? Anybody in here been to Marvin Gaye Day before? Okay, thank you very much. Where's the family of Saleem Hylton? Y'all say hey. He got a bunch of family members over there in the corner and over here. Thank y'all for coming out. I just want to say, just because this man says he's retiring, the AAMA still is going on. So please still keep in touch with us. AAMADC.org. Keep up with us, okay? Because we have more things coming in the future. Just because he stepped back, it doesn't mean that it's not going to go on. One more connection between AAMA and Unifest. I had to look it up. In 1992, we had Marvin Gaye Day. And on that particular weekend, Easter fell on April 3rd. We were at the Ritz nightclub until 4 a.m. And then we slid to Union Temple Baptist Church for sunrise service. Right straight there. So that's the kind of dedication that it takes to make these things happen. And so once again, thank you all for coming. Thank you for honoring my dad and helping us honor him. Because if anybody deserves an occasion such as that, as this, is this gentleman right here, this brother right here. Everywhere we've gone in our lives, he would take his kids with him. If he couldn't bring us, we wouldn't go. He wouldn't show up. So when we would go to these places with him, everybody's coming up and speaking to my dad. We are dancing. That's a celebrity. Grew up thinking our dad was a celebrity. Seriously. Everywhere we went, somebody knew. We couldn't go anywhere without somebody knowing him. And when he left the room, they only had good things to say. So I hope everybody in this room is the type of person that when you leave the room, they have good things to say about you, right? So thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the night. If anybody remembers commitment, y'all gonna get a little commitment tonight, okay? And if anybody likes to have a good time, it is gonna happen. If you haven't had a good time so far, you're gonna have a good time before you leave, okay? Thank you for coming.
Sean, stay here. She broke some news to me recently that was rather, it impacted me in some way. I didn't know what to think about it, but I want to celebrate her. Dad, maybe you need to come up too. Every year, the Unifest, for 20 plus years, fell on the same day as my sister's birthday, the same weekend. So she's made sacrifices, I have to say, right? We would always be, I think we would be blowing out candles at the urban stage at the Unifest. Next. We are moving very close to the end of the program, right up on into the entertainment as well as the celebration. We'll open up the dance floor. Now I'm going to bring up Beverly Lindsay Johnson to declare or honor, give a special presentation. Give it up for Beverly. Beverly needs a big round of applause also. Please, please. Bigger than that. Bigger than that.
Good evening, everyone. I have to put my glasses on, can't see without them. Saleem Hylton, this is from the Office of the Mayor of Washington, D.C. In appreciation, Dr. N. Saleem Hylton, August 7th, 2025. As Mayor of Washington, D.C., I am honored to express my appreciation to Dr. N. Saleem Hylton on the occasion of your retirement after more than 50 years of exemplary public service. A native Washingtonian, you have worked diligently to uplift youth and families from your creation of DC's first community transition reentry youth project to your role in introducing the restorative justice philosophy to our city. Your parallel career tracks in performing arts and media have enriched our lives, particularly your work as a co-founder of the African American Music Association. It is only fitting that the AAMA should honor you with a salute to Saleem tribute. Residents of the District of Columbia and beyond have benefited greatly from your dedication to promoting unity and personal empowerment. On behalf of the more than 700,000 residents of Washington, D.C., thank you for your valuable contributions to our communities and best wishes for an enjoyable and fulfilling retirement. Muriel Bowser, Mayor, Washington, D.C.
Chills when she was reading it. This has been amazing. I'm not my time to speak yet, but I just want to say, I'm just overwhelmed.
Just taking it back, taking it back. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much. Saleem, you know, it looks like it is time for you to speak, Baba Saleem. This is your time, yes. This is the perfect time, too. You're all wrapped up with emotions. You got all your thoughts together. Nah, right?
You know what? He asked me to, my daughter, Shandice, don't I have some amazing children? Oh, okay. And Shandice asked me, she said, Dad, and you know, on this one, you got to write down some stuff. And there's no reason for me to write down anything because I never read it. I never refer to it. You know, I always just have to speak. Is this spike happening, Mahmoud? Yeah, it's hot. Hold it close. I can, okay. All right, but I tell you what, it's just so much. I mean, first of all, I just want to thank the universal God force for making this happen so I can experience this on this side of the door. You know, usually you hear people giving testimonies and talking about the life of someone who's in a casket. And for this moment to have this kind of an opportunity and experience, I don't even have words to express what I'm feeling right now, y'all. I've been emotional while I'm sitting here. Tears are constantly running down my eyes because I can be a very emotional man. But this has just been something else. I just want to thank this Dream Team Planning Committee that put this thing together. Let's hear from the Dream Team. Would you all stand up? And just like Beverly, Sean Dees, Ignatius, Io, Vernon is not with us, he's in rehab.
Io, you're not standing up.
Where's Io? Anyway, there she is. We had a dream team that was just beyond measure. It was, and I just witnessed, I would just tune into some meetings and listen. A couple of times I just I didn't feel well enough to sit in on a meeting, but it's just been an amazing experience. You know, I wrote a book back in 2017 called My Spiritual Journey to Universal Consciousness, from Trauma to Prosperous and Faithful Life. And, oh yeah, Tasha Fitzgerald, I cannot forget her. Where is she at? She's been sitting next to me. Tasha, come and wave, Tasha. Tasha partnered with us on this birthday celebration, and I just wanted her to be recognized. Was she outside? Anyway, this thing has, this experience, I can't even think about much more I can say than what we hear. You're looking at me like I need to introduce you. Meet the mother of my two oldest, my two youngest children, Tahir. For those of you who know my wife, Ivy, she took ill today, and she was on the program. She was supposed to sing. And you would send her some healing prayers today. She couldn't make it. And she wanted me to be here. How could I not be here? Right? So I'm sacrificing being next to her right right now to be here with you all, because if you all have come and I'm not here, then why that's me? $80, the man ain't even there. So I had to show. You know? But by the grace of God, we have a young couple. We have, I have sons, Serica's sons and nephews and nieces all over the DC area. And one of my Serica's sons is there with his wife, and they're overlooking Ivy and staying with Ivy while we're here. So send her their healing prayers to her. But I think I have said enough. Oh, y'all said everything. Huh? Yeah. Oh, man. Really? Is the band ready? Well, where's the band? Shoot, I wanted to run to the restroom and all of that, you know. That's what I wanted to do, man. All right, even if I, Sylvia. Yeah. All right, y'all. I want y'all to hear this band. They're such awesome music. When I was, before the pandemic, I had set up this thing that I called Jazz for Seniors. Like Ignatius talked about it earlier, going around the different senior citizens and all that, singing jazz standards. So you're going to get a little bit of that tonight. This is the taste that Nana wants to give a presentation before that starts. Hold on.
Thank you, Baba Saleem. Thank you so much. Y'all give it up for Baba Saleem.